Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Susan Lynn. I'm a psychic and a medium. Thanks so much for tuning into this video. I am really pleased and excited to have my good friend Lorraine Gibbs from Scorpio Rising Astrology back on my channel. Let me tell you, she's a crowd favorite. Really, truly, you guys really tune in to watch her videos because she gives it to us straight. And it makes sense. She makes sense of really complicated astrology in a way that you and I, if we're not astrologers, and I'm not one, can understand. And today we're going to be talking about some really important things that are going on right now, which is the Republican convention. But she's also going to kind of touch on some other things as well that you're going to find helpful and interesting. So without further ado, let's do this. Lorraine, thank you so much for joining me today. How are you?
I'm doing fine, Susan. I'm very happy to be here.
Yay.
We got a lot of stuff going on, don't we?
Yeah, a lot of stuff going on. It's a little busy around here these days.
It's busy, it's kind of crazy. And I just want to put it out there to all of your people who are watching. It's going to be okay. All right. We're meant to go through this. The study of astrology is really based on historical data of things that have happened in the past, right? And right now, we got some really crazy energy that we're all dealing with. Could you tell? Okay. And what this energy is, it's a combination of Uranus, the planet of shock and awe, surprise, unpredictability, Mars, the planet of war and aggression and anger. And we have a little thing called Algol, which probably not many of you know about. It's a fixed star. And there are so many fixed stars that astrologers don't usually use them in the charts. But I had to figure out what the heck is going on because things were happening that, I just couldn't comprehend with just, the planets that we had on hand. So this planet Algol, it's not a planet, sorry. It is a fixed star. It's evil, okay? It's nasty. But it's a fixed star because it never moves. It's 26 degrees of Taurus, okay? Right now, Mars and Uranus have conjuncted with it exact today as we speak. It's an exact conjunction. Now, like I said, Uranus is shock and awe. It's surprising. It's unpredictable. And so it is sitting on top of Algol right now. And along comes Mars to, sort of strike the match and start the flame. Well, what have we seen? Okay, over the last week, heat, incredible heat everywhere, even up here. That's why I have my little Caribbean beach scene behind me here. That's where I want to be, right? Incredible heat everywhere in the United States, right? Oh, that's Mars and Uranus. And because it's all taking place in an Earth sign, it's affecting the Earth. Okay. And so we've seen like, I think there's like 3,000 wildfires going on in California. So there's the fires, there's the heat. There was a Cat 5 hurricane that devastated parts of the Caribbean and came up and got you in Texas, right? So early to have that kind of energy, that kind of earth energy. So this is what we can expect because this aspect, although it's exact today, it's going to sort of retrograde, meaning it's going to go back and forth through the summer. Okay. I don't think it's ever going to be as intense as what it has been right now. Okay. What did we see just this weekend was the attempted problems with number 45, right? The debate that was just a debacle that nobody really expected it to go that way, correct? So, that's been leading up and building up along with that hurricane energy and the heat and the fire. So it's exact today during the RNC convention, which I'm going to touch on in a minute. But what happened this weekend with number 45? Algol just happens to reside in Donald Trump's birth chart at the very top of his chart, which is, your reputation, your career, how you want other people to see you. It's his status in the world. It lives there. It lives there.
Evil lives there. Evil lives at
Evil,
the top
evil.
of Can't
Yes,
make this stuff up, you guys.
you can't. And not only that, Susan, it challenges, makes a square aspect to his natal Mars and his natal ascendant. Okay, which makes him mean. Okay.
Meaner, even
And
meaner.
he's meaner, but I mean, that's his natal chart. I mean, that never leaves. Okay. So on a good
Wow.
day, he's vengeful. He's all about himself. He doesn't care about people. He's mean. But on a bad day, when you have Uranus and Mars sitting right on top of that
Uh-oh.
algo, that's like, the energy you put out, you attract, right? And he's been all about violence. I mean, he's asking to have Liz, who was it? Was it Liz Cheney brought up before a military tribunal?
Oh God.
He won, he's called for Joe Biden to be executed and Kamala Harris to be hanged and all kinds of terrible things. And it's all been all this talk about revenge. So what you put out there, you are going to attract. And when you have a bad actor like Algol sitting at a very, very sensitive point in your chart, and along comes Uranus and along comes Mars, it is like a match being lit and thrown on the gasoline. This was exact for him on Saturday when something happened.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, something happened. Yes, it
Wow.
was absolutely exact. And now let me tell you about Algol. Algol in mythology is symbolized by the decapitated head of Medusa. Okay. And it rules the head from the neck to the head. What happened to him? Someone tried to get him in the head and grazed, I guess, his ear. Okay. So that was violence to the head. Again, you can't make this stuff up,
Can't make
right?
it
But
up.
this
You
is
cannot make it up.
what it is. But Algol is a really, really bad energy. So it's been touched off by Uranus and Mars. And so we've had that happen. We've had the hurricane happen. We had the debates happen, all this debacle, right? And so now we've got the RNC National Convention. So what is this telling us? Number one, because Algol and Uranus and Mars are somewhere in everyone's chart, just be a little cautious. I'm not saying go and hide underneath your dining room table or put your tin hats on and go in the closet. But I am saying just be aware of your surroundings, okay? Don't put yourself in situations that could potentially be a problem. Unfortunately, this poor man at the rally lost his life. That's the type of energy that I'm talking about. Go to the beach, go enjoy your swimming pools, go to the lake and have a party with friends, do fun things, do things that make you happy. If you do have tickets to go to a concert, go to your concert, just be aware of your surroundings, okay? I'm not advocating for anyone to hibernate all summer because this energy it's exact right now and will be for the next week, but it's going to be sort of like retrograding. It's going to be going back and forth, and we're going to be feeling it to some degree or another right through the election.
What do you think? Can I interrupt you for just a moment? So,
Sure.
first of all, whereas we all have Algol in our chart somewhere,
We do.
it could be
Yeah.
in a part of our chart that's not playing a very big role right now. The thing that's happening is this setup between Mars and Uranus and Algol. So you could look at your chart and you could ascertain, right? You could figure out for yourself or whatever what that's happening. But for Trump specifically, it's in a specifically kind of dynamite sort of explosive
Exactly.
triangulation. That's the energy that I get. So for you guys, I just want you guys to understand, like, I'm sure I have it in my chart, but what do you think the odds are of another person having this same triangulation of planets the same way that Trump does?
Zero.
One in a
Zero.
million, one in 10 million.
One in 700 million. I mean,
Okay.
because they would have to have been born at the exact date and time and place as Donald Trump. They would have to have been his twin, born within seconds. Okay.
Okay. So I just want to make that clear, you guys. We're talking about how bad this is for 45, but it's not
Yeah.
going to be that bad for you. This is like spirit. This is like the ultimate karmic thing, right? I think,
Exactly.
okay, so he was born with this particular astrological configuration, the way we all were.
Yeah.
We all have free will. He could have, at any time in his rather long life at this point, decided, gosh, I've really got to stop being a jerk, right? He could have, and then if he had attenuated or changed or lessened some of his actions, and he got to this point today or yesterday or Saturday when it was direct, it would have had a different effect on him, right? I mean, it wouldn't been possibly wouldn't have been as supercharged, but he's loaded it up with his own energy, you know?
He attracted it. He attracted that energy. I mean, in what he says and what he does, how he acts. And I'm telling you, and you, I'm sure you agree with me. What we put out there, we attract back to us. Okay, and has this changed him in any way? No, I don't think so. I mean, some people say that he said, "Oh my God, you know, God saved me," and we need unity. I know, that's hysterical, isn't it?
He should get struck down just for that.
Yeah, well, you know, Uranus rules lightning, so you never know. Right?
God, okay. Like I don't look Secret Service. I never said that. Okay.
But you know, you want to look at, he's parroting what Joe Biden has been saying because it's working for Joe Biden. He's calling for unity. And so Trump is now out there saying, we need to come together in unity. And it sounds so false. And so, you know,
but maybe his MAGAs will listen and stop being jerks, you know? I mean, maybe it'll work.
I don't think they can. I think that after Trump is gone, right?
Yeah, you're right.
You know, so, you know, the other thing that kind of bothers me, if you saw all the video, which I'm sure you have, he sure didn't get a lot of protection from his Secret Service.
No, he didn't.
I mean, his head's popping up and he's fight. And I'm like, you know, if you ever saw the video of Ronald Reagan's assassination attempt, those Secret Service threw him on the ground and turtle walked him to the car and threw him in.
Like, I mean, they don't have a choice. We're going to do this, right? And the people were kind of like, that woman in the front was very petite. I mean, she wasn't going to pick him up. I mean, he's a big guy. So he had some kind of, but anyway, yeah, I agree. He did ask for it and he's getting it. So if we talked about so how does this, okay, let me just, because I gotta say, you triggered me over the retrograding, because all I see is a bus running someone over and then going, what was that noise? Let me see, backing up, boop, 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 running them over again. And I just can't find this thing that's under my tires. You know what I mean? You just like continue to retrograde back and forth and just roll over 45 for the next 5 months. I mean, it couldn't happen to a better guy. But anyway, so about the convention, how does this, how I want to put the pieces together in my mind, like how this could all fit together with the convention.
Chaos. One word.
Chaos.
Chaos. Okay. I don't know if you ever saw Get Smart as a kid, you know, there was an organization called Chaos, right?
That's right.
You know, it's not a real auspicious time to have a convention. Okay.
No,
especially under this energy. And I'm sure I'm not a Republican, but I am sure that this party is divided just as much as the country is right now. And I think that what we can expect from the convention is the unexpected. Anything can happen. Okay. Is it possible they decide not to make Trump the nominee? It's possible under this energy. I think it would have stood a greater chance had this not happened this weekend. I think there was a very good chance that there was going to be very strong opposition to him being declared the presidential nominee. I think there's going to be a lot of turmoil in that party this week. The energies are just swirling around like a cesspool. And I love that imagery of the RNC convention, you know, just, and I think there's going to be a lot of infighting. I think there's going to, and of course, in all their wisdom, they've decided to allow GUNSs into the convention.
Or
if I
near
was,
in the outer perimeter, I don't know, it's some weird thing. The state law, the federal law, the city law, there's some problem with that situation.
there's a lot of problems with that. I mean, um, you know, I just feel like this is not going to be a real easy convention.
So
Now,
you mentioned that it could be that it had the same, you mentioned that conventions have a birth date,
absolutely,
astrologers.
signatures.
Yeah, astrologers, you guys need the inception, the conception of the event. And
Right.
that's where the planets were when that event was conceived. So this convention has a chart. And you were saying that it was a little bit like the 1968 convention, the Democratic convention in 1968, that there was a lot of protests. And I would just say that I think we're seeing it. Actually, you said that the Republican Party is divided. But I would also say the spirit guides just showed me this guy Crooks, who did the deed. He was a Republican, yet he was upset with the candidate. And we know that the far right Republicans are upset with 45. As a matter of fact, if you go to certain social media, you can see 45 getting a buttload of anger because he doesn't do what they want him to do. He promises, things and he just didn't do them, or he doesn't stand up for them. He's not far right enough for some of the real far right people. So those
he's also a serial liar.
He's also a liar.
It's in his chart. He doesn't know how to tell the truth. He doesn't.
What would you do if you were reading somebody's kid and you were like, "Oh Lord, lady, your kid is a serial liar, man. Good luck."
Been there. I've been there, believe me, but I don't say it, I have had some very difficult charts that I've had to read here.
All right. Well, wonderful kid, but sometimes fibs a little bit. Does your kid fib a little bit? Okay, I'm glad because really. But anyway,
a little disturbed.
Let's go back to Trump. But here's the thing though: if he's made these people mad on the far right, okay, those are the people who are more likely to use those pop, pop, bang, bang things. They're the people who are more likely to get hammers out. So it makes sense that this convention could be contentious from that. The guides are showing me right now. Remember when 45 spoke in front of the libertarians? Did you see that? They were screaming at him, screaming at him.
Yeah.
No. So, I think you're right that there could be some contingents in the convention that come in supportive, but they're really Trojan horse. They're going to come in and they're going to be.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you why. The signature that I'm reading, that is the same as the 1968 Democratic National Convention, is a nodal return. Now, the North Node is where we're going. The South Node is where we've been, right? It's a karmic thing. I believe a great deal of the contention is going to be over Project 2025. Okay.
Really? Wait, why? They love that thing.
Not all of them. Not all of them, because it got out there and people are horrified with a capital H, right? Horrified. That was not supposed to get out there. And it really doesn't reflect the values of all Republicans. Okay. Right. Not all Republicans are bad. Not all Republican politicians are bad. They're scared is what they are. And politicians that are now in office are terrified. They are terrified of Donald Trump. They are terrified of Vladimir Putin. Okay. I'm just out there saying it.
Yeah. Right.
Because they have stuff on them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're summing it up. So it makes sense now because you have the far right that thinks that Donald's not far right enough. And then you have the left of right that are like, wait a minute, you're going to get rid of overtime. You're going to get rid of VA veterans' rights. I'm never going to get elected again, right? Like I am never going to be able to run on the ticket that you want me to run on. And they're not getting any money because Donald Trump National Committee is siphoning off 90% of the money. I saw it in the actual documents where they incorporated TNC, they state they're going to get 90% of the money that goes to the RNC. So you can understand. So now I get it. So there's really like division, like literally black and white, like two different sides. And Trump marches in thinking he's king for a day, and that maybe that's why he's saying unite. Maybe that's why you said that he's got this uniting energy, because he's actually trying to talk to his own people.
Oh, I'm sure, if he cares. Okay.
Well,
I believe that Trump is one who doesn't care about what anybody else thinks.
No, he
only
doesn't,
cares
but
about his own agenda.
But he wants them to vote their delegates to him.
He does, but
the only time he does care.
But he thinks he's invincible.
It's true.
He believes
he thinks he
believes that there's no way anyone is going to challenge him.
That's true.
He believes he's going to become the president, and he believes he's going to become, little Hitler. And, he's going to have a third term because Biden cheated him out of that second term. I mean, it's going to blow, right? So, so this energy within the Republican convention right now, I think we're going to see it play out as far as what the platform is. I mean, they really don't have a platform. It's called Trump's Traveling Revenge and Retribution Show, right? With all the clowns and the tricks and everything like that. So I think that's going to be a lot of it. I also think there are a lot of people in that convention who really don't want Trump, really don't want him as the nominee. But what are their options? Nikki Haley would be probably the only one that I could see, because she did garner, some support. I don't really believe, a few months ago, I thought it was a possibility. And even up until a week ago, I thought it was a possibility that perhaps they would remove him and put someone in his place. Based on the events that happened over the weekend, I don't believe they're going to do that. And this is where we have to understand that energies shift and change. Astrology is all about potentials. Okay. And like I've said before, for every negative, there's a positive, every positive, there's a negative. And it depends on the energy that's around. The energy shifted. The energy shifted with that. When that hurricane blew in, holy moly, it blew in a whole lot of really dangerous energy. Okay. So at one point, I did believe that it was possible. I don't think it is anymore. I think he's going to use this. Because, I mean, what did he do? He popped up and went, fight, fight, fight. That doesn't sound to me like a man who's learned his lesson and who has any humility,
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Yeah. So anyway, that's the energy there. And, I would suggest, don't go near that convention center, only actually too, because the negative energy that you're going to pick up. I mean, I'm not even watching the news, any news anymore. The only news I get pops up on my computer, even if I don't want to see it, because I believe all the media has been totally compromised now, even those like CNN and MSNBC and, the ones that we thought we had. Did you know that they actually canceled Morning Joe on MSNBC today?
No,
because they were afraid. They were afraid that he might say something negative about Trump after the shooting. So, I mean, like, wow, that is crazy. That is crazy. So anyway, that's what's going on out there. So the energy leading up to, for the next 6 months, is crazy energy. Okay. I don't want everyone to be terrified of it. I want everyone to be aware just to expect anything. Okay. Here is what I'm going to say to everybody. I believe, based on the astrology chart that I see, if Joe Biden is the nominee for president, he will win the election. He will win. I do not see Trump winning this election. Why? Because of Algol and Uranus squaring his Mars at the time of the election, and his ascendant, which is a very sensitive point. It's based on your exact time of birth. Right. That it's going to be squared, challenged on and off for a couple of years. Okay. So, I just don't see that. Now, I could be the world's worst astrologer. I've made mistakes. I'm a mere mortal. Okay. But when I look at that energy, and as I believe others who I have heard, they feel the same way. That is not a setup for winning. It's a setup for almost being assassinated. I mean, you know, that's what that is.
Well, we checked that off our bingo card.
Yep, check, done that. Just when you thought there was something that you couldn't be more shocked about, right? You know,
I think there's more shocking. Is that Uranus? Is Uranus the shock and awe planet?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's more shocking coming. It's just how we react to it. You know, we have to learn to react to it in a better way. If we allow ourselves to get knocked out flat, cold on the ground, then we're kind of not really helping anything or anybody. It's like put the oxygen mask on yourself first, get yourself together, then go help others.
Well, here's the thing. What I have experienced over the last, I don't know how many months, 6 months that I have been reading, the folks who have so kindly from your channel approached me. Everyone is looking for more meaning, more spirituality. They want to help. They want to help heal the world, the planet, the people, themselves. Okay. So how do we work with this energy? We look to the astrology charts and we look in our charts and we say, where can we be most helpful? Sometimes it's the 6th house of service to others. Sometimes it's in your career. Sometimes it's at home. We look in our charts and we look within ourselves if we don't have a chart available to us. Where can we be most comfortable using our spiritual gifts? And we all have spiritual gifts. We're just not all aware of them. Some of us, like you and me, we get kind of hit over the head with them and, you know, there they are, right? So this is how we work through it, everybody. You look to what you can do for yourself, for the people around you, to put out positive energy, to put out healing energy. Go and work at a shelter, go and, you know, animal shelter, homeless shelter, you know, volunteer at school or wherever, but something to make you feel like you are making a positive contribution. Now, what is happening right now is we are at a tipping point, a real tipping point. Pluto, which has gone into Aquarius, is going back into Capricorn. It's going to be back in Capricorn at 29 degrees, which is called the anorectic degree, and it is very, very powerful. What is and it's going to be there until November 19th. What is that? It's revealing. It's digging up and showing what we have become, who we are, not only as individuals, but as a country, as a collective, as a global entity. Okay? Because this is happening all over the world. I mean, we're not the only ones, you know, if there's any comfort, you know, misery loves company, right? So I lost my train of thought.
Revealing, but I had a question about Capricorn. So it's in Capricorn. What is revealing? What about Capricorn, or what
Corruption.
What do we know about Capricorn?
We know that Capricorn rules governments, it rules institutions, it rules CEOs, it rules presidents, people in authority. What does Pluto do? Pluto in Capricorn reveals the truth. It uncovers corruption. It shows us what's no longer working, and it demands transformation from the bottom up. Okay, so it's like the foundations of a house that start crumbling. You can't just put up new walls. You've got to tear that whole house down and fix that foundation. This is what the United States is going through right now, because we are going through a Pluto return. We're back. Pluto is back to the exact place it was when we declared our freedom from the British. And so it's saying, hey, take a look at what you've done. What have we done here? Have we done everything that we thought that we should be doing correctly? And the answer is no. Pluto's pretty stern, you know? So what is he doing? He's bringing this Project 2025 to light, and he's showing us, this is what it's going to be like, folks. Do you want to move forward with those kinds of authoritarian rules and regulations and restrictions? Or do you want to move into the age of Aquarius, where it's about we the people, where it's about, helping each other, humanitarianism, okay? So it's a review time. Now, if you look at every time we've had the American Revolution and the Civil Wars, it's a period of absolute total chaos, but then things get better, or so we think, right? If we do it right, it does. So we went through the Civil War and we got, civil rights, supposedly. And then as we move through the times of the 60s, we've got women's rights, supposedly. What's happening? This is all being revisited. And it's all, they're trying, Project 2025 wants to take away all those rights, correct? And so it's showing us. That's why they weren't ready to reveal this Project 2025. It got leaked. And then it was out there, and now they've got to deal with it. So this is what the world is going to be. And if your viewers have not looked at a copy of Project 2025, it's a very big document, but I urge you to go online and Google it and take a look at what is contained in there. Now, also what's coming up on July 21st is a full moon in Capricorn conjunct our friend Pluto. Okay. So I think a lot of stuff is going to be revealed between now and the end of July. Things like Epstein, the Epstein tapes, is it tapes or the little black book or whatever that is? I think that, yeah, I think there's a lot of secrets going to be revealed. Now, I think one of the big revelations was this Project 2025 that came out that most of us weren't aware of, that this was an actual living document, and is the platform. And even though 45 is trying to remove himself from that, says he never knew about, he doesn't know who these people are. He's been caught on video saying, this is my platform. This is what we're going to be moving forward with. So again, serial liar, right? You really can't believe anything that he says. So these types of things are being revealed. That video just came out over the weekend, I believe, revealing that he does know about Project 2025. So and I think this whole Epstein thing, I think there's going to be connections with some major politicians and royalty and celebrities. So I think that is going to start to be revealed under this full moon that's coming up, because Pluto wants us to be aware so that we don't make the same mistakes going forward. So this is a very powerful full moon, and any revelations that come up between now and the end of the month are going to be game changers in a way. And so more shock and awe, everybody. Just what we need, right? We haven't had enough.
I'm okay. Well, I mean, if it's about 45 or about his cronies or about crimes, I'm happy to hear them, right? I'm happy to hear them. So I do. Part of me wants everything to just speed up. Like, let's just get it over with. I want to eat all my vegetables in 5 seconds and be done. Or have all the, all my classes over quickly. So, but you're saying, well, the full moon is basically, we have until the end of the month, but does the full moon energy sometimes last longer? Does it have a kind of shadow area?
It sometimes goes, it depends on the strength of the energies and what's accompanying, but usually, I mean, the full moon itself, the energy lasts like a few days. But if you have a full moon that's like, for example, at 29 degrees of Capricorn, 29 degrees is that very critical degree that I told you about. Yeah. That can last several weeks, okay? And it, sometimes it can last until the new moon energy, which is usually about 2 weeks later, okay? So you have the full moon on the 21st, and then sometime in beginning of August, I haven't got my ephemeris with me right now, but you'll have your new moon. Okay. So, that's the type of thing. And depending on what it's revealing, it could be setting the stage and like being a catalyst, okay, for something, further down the road yet to be revealed, but there's an inkling that something big is coming. So, So yeah, that, July is really hot. In oh
Kind
so
of like
many
a
ways.
lot of fireworks. A lot of fireworks should be the theme of July.
Yep, yep,
Wow,
absolutely.
wow.
But here's the thing. I mean, you have to live your life. Okay. Now, interesting, and this is an interesting factoid, and I don't want anyone to run with this and think otherwise, but Uranus was conjunct the United States Algol on December 7th, 1941. What was that?
Really?
Pearl Harbor. That's the type of energy we're dealing with. And I don't believe anyone's going to come and attack us. I do not believe that. People, don't write Susan, don't write me. It's not going to happen. Okay. But this is a historical thing. And interestingly enough, too, because I've been reading up on this in ancient British history, one of the kings was decapitated under an Algol,
Algol, yeah.
Uranus. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, and looking, and here goes, 45
Yeah.
with
Whiz.
right past, right, a hair parter, right past his head.
Yeah.
So yeah, that, and what I think is weird, I'm going to say this because I don't understand it, but even 45 himself has been talking about being decapitated. He's used those words. It's funny how when we're
Yeah.
in the energy, we say things and we don't know why we say them. You know what I mean? But it's foreshadowing. The guides are saying it's foreshadowing when you foreshadow something in a book, right? So I think this was even last month. He was saying things about this kind of foreshadowing. I'm not saying he knew it. I'm saying subconsciously he knew it.
Well, I mean, that's the energy he lives with.
And that's the energy he lives with too.
And when you think about it too, the energy is kind of like off with their heads. Well, look, this is sort of like what they were trying to do to Joe Biden. Oh, he's too old, off with his head, right?
Yeah.
Donald Trump, there goes a bullet whizzing by his ear. So it's the symbology is really incredible and interesting, I feel. And we look back in time and we use astrology. If we use it effectively, we look back in time to see, events that have occurred and try to prevent them from happening again or to make it better this time. And so we are in, special times and, there's going to be a lot going on, but don't lose your head, everybody. Do not lose your heads. Stay calm. This too shall pass. We are going into the age of Aquarius and setting us up for a 30-year reset. Okay. Now, with any reset, there are challenges and there's turmoil and nothing is easy. It's like childbirth, right? It can hurt. And I'm not going to say, oh, Joe Biden's won, all of our troubles are gone. No, they're not. They're not, because we are fighting for our democracy. And even if Donald Trump is out of the picture, there are people who still want to, turn us into an authoritarian country. So we just need to be aware, vote, be positive, put that energy out there, turn into yourself, watch Susan, watch your other favorite astrologers. If I can ever get my YouTube up and going, watch me. I'm having technical difficulties, but I'm trying. Technology and I don't get along very well. But of course, I'm trying to do it under a Uranus, Mars, and Algol aspect, and that ain't going to work, right?
So no, yeah. I have computers strung together with string and tin cans right now. Literally, seriously, like everybody let's get through this. Let's just get through this.
So I do believe as far as weather is concerned too, there's going to be a lot more really, really bad weather. I don't know where exactly. I mean, it could be anywhere in the world, but the things that you can expect is probably some seismic activity, more flooding, more big winds, lots of fire, lots and lots of fire. So, but I'm not being doom and gloom. I'm just telling you what to expect so that you're not caught unawares. If everybody has a little go bag, you can survive, right? Or if you can be aware that, something's not quite right. There's really crazy energy. What can I do? Just be prepared, be aware. Don't get involved in any kind of fights or arguments or anything under this energy. Just chill. Like I said, go in your swimming pool, go to the beach, just read a good book. don't do anything that you could put yourself in a position where these energies could really take over and create some kind of chaos around you. Just chill, everybody.
That's really good advice. It's really good advice. And with this kind of sudden change energy, what I would add to what she's saying is that is the unpredictability. So if there's a storm predicted for your area, and you don't pay any attention to it, that's how you could be caught out, right?
Exactly.
Because the storm could be, well, I'll tell you, the hurricane that hit us, of course, it was a 5 down in the Caribbean by the time it got to us. It was trucking along like a tropical storm. But when it hit land, it went to a 1, and really the locals think it was a 2 because we clock the winds. We live on, near the coast. We understand. We were clocking the winds at 100 miles an hour. So, again, unpredictability. If you're prepared extra, it's going to pay off. I think that's basically what the guides want to tell you. So like she said, have a go bag, right? Just have something by the door that you can just pick up, and don't forget to have maybe the pet food, or, the maybe
Medication.
put a couple of extra medication in there
Yeah,
that you can just mark and just have extra in case, right? Also,
right.
Any documents that you might want to need or something. I mean, I know that like in earthquake country, I think you guys keep those things. In the South, everybody deals with tornadoes so often, and you don't typically run away from them. But it's a good idea to be aware if you're out and about and there's a tornadic energy around. You just need to understand that something can go from nothing to something very quickly, and like never before. Like the locals, the old timers will say, I've never seen that before. Like us getting a hurricane in June. That's not that. I don't know if that was a record, but that is close to a record. Like that never happened.
Was a record. It was a record.
This is the energy we're talking about. Okay. We're just trying to prepare you. We're not trying to scare you. We're trying to prepare you. Okay.
And we don't want you to become complacent. We just don't want to be complacent.
Yeah, you can't.
That's why we're in all this trouble in the first place, is we've all become complacent and, apathetic, and we weren't paying attention. Just pay attention. Pay attention to the signs, the weather, or whatever. And, have some food on hand in case you lost your electricity, right?
Oh yeah, I lost it, and then I lost it again. Last week was hot. Back to that heat thing. It was 83 degrees inside my house. So it was hot. Not fun at all. So and so I lost it once. I thought, okay, I've got it, I'm done. And I lost it again. But that second time I lost it for 30 hours. More than a day and a half with no AC. And so there's the unexpected. You see do you guys understand how we're trying to explain it, right? But this is also going to be fall 45, right? And I think the difference is, I'll just say this too. The difference is that 45, because he's so selfish and self-aggrandizing, he's going to stand up and pop up and be like a target, right? Biden is not going to do that. Biden is smarter. Something happens to Biden, Biden's going to do what the Secret Service says. He's going to be a helpful person. So also, I think that Biden, the guides always tell me, he's the intelligence president. He really reads those intelligence briefings. He really values the intelligence community. And therefore, I think Biden, whereas, he might be under the same energy that, we all are around this kind of sudden, kind of upsetting energy. I think Biden is going to do a better job of protecting himself from that more than, say, 45.
He will. I mean, we're talking apples and oranges when we're looking at the two people and their energies and
their charts.
And their charts. And I can tell you all, I've said it before, I'll say it again, everyone. If Biden is still on the ticket and he is our Democratic nominee, he will win this election. So, take some heart from that. Is he going to have some challenges? Yeah, he's going to have some challenges. We all do. Listen, not only is he 81, okay, but He's got a war in the Middle East. He's got a war in Ukraine. He's got Donald Trump. He has the Republicans after him. He has his own party wanting to behead him. I mean, he's got a lot going on in that mind.
A lot going on.
He has. And, as we get older, we do get confused. I do. I mean, I'm just 10 years younger than Joe Biden. I confuse my words sometimes. I get them mixed up, but it's normal. It's a normal aging process, let alone being the leader of the free world. Good Lord.
Think about,
the man
we're trying to remember our grocery list, right?
Yeah,
And he's
exactly.
trying to remember, what's going on with Putin? What's going on with Orban? What's going on over here, right? Like he's got like a million things going on, a million people that want his attention. No, I think he's doing quite well. And I think he's despite, that's what I want to say. I know he's got challenges coming, as we all do, but I really think that he's well prepared for them, having been a senator forever, also having been a VP for 8 years. This guy is very prepared. I mean, he's been in these roles before.
And Kamala is also, Kamala is very prepared. She could very easily step in at any time that she needed to. So not to worry, everybody. I mean, he's still with it. He's still got it. He's just aging. Okay. But that doesn't mean you throw grandpa out, to be collected with the garbage trucks. Okay. He has so much value. He is respected by all the world leaders, regardless of what 45 says. He's very respected by all the, and his record sort of stands on its own. But don't worry about Joe. Joe has a lot of help. He's surrounded himself with a lot of good people, and he's still got it. I'm voting Joe.
I'm voting Joe. We're all voting Joe. And I don't know why I want to say this, because maybe I got in the doghouse and I need to get out of it. I don't know. But I almost want to say pray for Trump. I mean, I think sending some white light to him in any way could be helpful for this country, just from the viewpoint of he's got a mouthpiece, he's got a bully pulpit. And if he wants to go out there and say, we all need to come together and sing Kumbaya, I'm okay with that. I'm honestly, I really think what I'm getting, and I didn't know he said that, what I'm getting right now is that he is snapped like, my own people are trying to kill me. You know what I mean? Like, I think I've pushed this violence thing a little too far. Let me push love and light. Let me switch over to love and light, because I don't need these people trying to kill me. So it's an issue.
It's an issue.
I think that's good. I think it's good that he woke up to that he created a bunch of monsters, and now and he's armed them, and now the monsters are coming after him. And that's exactly the energy that I got too, is that Brutus energy, that Caesar energy, that his own people were going to come after him. And that's exactly what happened last weekend. And I think it's going to happen during this convention. I think you make a good point that it probably was going to happen in a bigger way. And now he's bought himself some extra goodwill with his followers, because, the pictures that he's selling and all of that. But I still think there's going to be infighting. There's still chaos. They're going to try to hide it from the world. They're going to try to make it private, but I don't think it's going to be hidden. I think we're going to see it.
Well, you can't, when you have that many people, all in one place, you
with their phones, you can't. You
just can't. But I mean, they'll probably eat themselves alive. But I don't know what the outcome is going to be, other than I'm pretty sure he will end up being the Republican nominee. But it's going to be interesting. And then it's going to be interesting. We need to come back, Susan, and talk about the Democratic National Convention.
We will. Absolutely.
That's going to be held in August. And we'll take a look at the energy then.
We'll take a look at that energy too. Thank you so much, Lorraine, for joining me today. You guys can find her at Scorpio Rising Astrology. I'll leave all her information down in the description of this video. And thanks again for coming, and thanks for letting us know about this crazy Medusa fixed star thing that I didn't even know existed, but now I'm kind of, it all makes sense that it's sitting at the top of his chart, and it just all makes sense. You cannot make this stuff up. So thanks everybody for watching, for tuning in. Take really good care of yourselves. Follow her advice to take some time out, and we'll see you again really soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody. For entertainment purposes only.